This is colorful Ghana, on the road to peace, prosperity, and democracy. But Ghana's peace is also disturbed. This film is about conflict and conflict resolution. In December 2000, Ghana held national elections. The result was a new government led by Mr. J.A. Kufuor. The change of power went by peacefully, except in one place, in the northeastern corner of the country. In the town of Bawku, the elections were marred by violence as the two main ethnic groups, the Kusasis and the Mamprusis, began fighting. The town lay in ruins. Houses were burnt to the ground and property destroyed. Scores were dead or wounded, including children and women. Within the town, memories of the event are still fresh.
I was in the office when I heard gunshots, and then suddenly we saw that the cola nut house was burnt. Then a lot of women and children running and crying all around towards our office, where they think that it is safe for them.
I lost my son and four of my brothers. Yusuf Tingandana, Bamin, Monsieur, and Yusuf Tingandana on that pillar.
Both of them were shot on the same day, but we were able to see the first man, that is Yahya, on the 8th. And on the 9th morning, when people were coming from Puska, they brought Bukari on the main road so that people would see. And they saw it and came and told us that Bukari too has been killed. He's on the road. So we went and picked him. That was it. But these are my sons, the two.
In Ghana, religion plays an important role in society. In the north, large parts of the population are Muslim. This is also true for Bawku. Here, Muslims live side by side with their Christian counterparts. But what role does religion play in the conflict? Two local women are working to promote peace in the conflict-ridden town. One is Christian, the other Muslim.
I'm Salamatu Sharif, popularly known as Mma.
Mma is a devout Muslim, and every Friday afternoon, she goes to pray in the local women's mosque.
The praying 5 times a day is according to the religion. You have to pray early in the morning before 6, then in the afternoon before 2, in the early evening before 4, then late evening at least about 7, 8.
Mma explains the importance of praying for peace.
It's something for your own sake and the sake of your family and the nation as whole. Because whenever you are praying, you have to pray for everybody. One thing, the most important thing is how to get peace, and then your well-being, then health. They are the most important things that we pray for.
Every Sunday, when as a Christian, you go to church. We meet different kinds of people from all walks of life.
Mma's friend Vivian is a Christian.
We sing, we pray, and then we also celebrate the Mass, and everybody takes communion to be able to rekindle his or her spirit. At the end of the service, there is normally greetings to show that we are in peace with one another. And even most often, those who are sick, we also pray for them in the church.
Vivian and Mma do not see religion to be a problem in Bawku. On the contrary.
We have Muslims, we have Christians, and we have the different ethnic groups that are working towards...
And even with those who are not serving.
And traditionalists, they are all involved in the peace process. So we don't see religion to be a problem for us here. And we don't also look at Islam to be a terrorist religion.
No.
Whereas in many places in the world, religious tension is the cause of conflict, this is not true for Bawku. Here, the two religions are used as tools for peace and not as a catalyst for conflict. Both Mma and Vivian work for a local non-governmental organization called the Bawku East Women's Development Association, or BUDA for short. BUDA is comprised of Muslim and Christian women from both the Kusasi and the Mamprusi communities. As part of their work, Mma and Vivian go out into the community to speak with local women about the conflict. BUDA believes that by talking to the women, the men of Bawku will eventually catch on too, and tension will be reduced.
Women,
They are the sufferers.
yeah.
When something happens like this, they will suffer more, and the children. So I think they should also, we are trying to let them come out and then talk to their husbands.
Vivian and Mma want to promote dialogue and peace. They want to reach the men through their wives. Their efforts as NGO workers to promote reconciliation is respected and appreciated within the town. The local chief of police expresses his appreciation.
As security men, we are charged with the ensuring of peace of the area. Indeed, as at now, we have a little bit of peace, but I would describe it as uneasy calm, because it appears there is still the mistrust between the two warring factions, that is the Kusasis and the Mamprusis. But I believe with the intervention of the NGOs, we'll be able to achieve some kind of peace. If two people are fighting, there is the need for a third party to come in to maybe calm tempers down. This is all that we are all praying for.
To promote reconciliation, Mma and Vivian have to engage the men in dialogue and get them to discuss the hostilities. They talk to two elders from the warring communities.
Zot la kame bomar kanir zota kabele vote la ka vote kan den kanum go wan kwen MPP dem ne indi shirem la ka le lebo zaba den ka ba me zot.
It followed the general election of 2000 when we were busy listening to the different results from the different constituencies and different regions. It was on the 8th. Suddenly got some women running to tell us that people were fighting with guns, firing guns.
Le puyu were mayin and boomde, Jingla Pool. Ka Shibalem Jotapana can wish a bomber, but be impidem la soon look of a king you indicium. Shock.
Bullets were falling everywhere, and young men in the town had to run out to protect the town.
Traditionally, the Mamprusis and the Kusasis have voted for rival political parties. The conflict ostensibly broke out because the election results were delayed, a fact believed by both sides to be related to vote rigging. But was this really enough to provoke the conflict that saw so many lives ended and destroyed? In their work, Mma and Vivian have found a deeper, underlying cause of the conflict that has to do with the chieftaincy. The role of the chief is quite influential in the governing of Bawku. This causes problems, as there is only one chief, and he is a Kusasi. It is a question of identity as much as politics. The Mamprusis do not feel that the Kusasi chief represents them.
There is a political point in the peace, the conflict, and there is also a traditional problem, and that is chieftaincy. The Mamprusis claim that they are the right people to the stool of the paramountcy in the Bawku district. The Kusasis also claim that they are the right people within, they are the traditional people, and they have the right to the paramountcy in the Bawku district. So the actual root cause of the conflict is chieftaincy.
It seems simple, but emotions run high around the issues of identity and chieftaincy. A Mamprusi youth who took part in the fighting gives an ominous analysis of the situation.
On the political ground, it comes once in a while, every 4 years. But the chieftaincy affair, there's still a problem there. Until that problem is solved, I don't think there will be peace.
There is an uneasy calm in the town.
They claim they want to be the chiefs.
A Kusasi youth does not see any alternative to the status quo. The perspective of being ruled by the Mamprusis appeals just as little to the Kusasis as the present scenario does to the Mamprusis. Vivian goes to the heart of the matter. The chief of Bawku is a Kusasi. She asks his opinion.
Na kina dieta ndiye namla ndiye namla totna me kina tinifnie kat meruwa die wona gana le independent la comme ça meruwa marié ko sa independent den so ta gadam.
Mma and Vivian invite the two elders to the Buda premises to talk about the conflict. The issue is sensitive, but in order to reconcile the two groups, a dialogue must first be begun.
Parti la banda vote la bon vote la memenda kani ama men beyin dinda kan ka ana vote la ka bada vote la dinda ta sabrana kar la banda be ni kana ka shi ba yele MPP betun ka shi ba yele indisi betun kana do to kwiro le keka banya ka indisi limbe abodo ba bagatu na le sabraba ne du duna ba ka ba king sam indi shirim la dina a gurzak la ka indi gurzak la indi shirim banda ani indi shirim
ti ku si ni ka zabla duana ka kusa bi duana bo ba zabna tan pundema bayin to in ke ka ba sa'ba ka ba ke andima tim na zinya obuhin babuhin ni biza gana ni ban vi de to soko to ye ban ne ba minya kaman pour bisi isige in kan fonsia ndolba tim bo da do mata bo da lafiya do man tim mana ne nda shi zin marka domin tim na zin pile to a siya din sa tin ga tim biyo ina za tin da ya wasu ne na wanda ke ka ga da madwa tin wa
o melem mi gbaw kin shukuri mi gbaw wa gos ka to asida on bange kala ni tin fongon kala be kala ni an kusa kala ka on purba kala ya kusa bale wala ka kusa be kusa wala ka prit na ka fomme mo fu tin fomme mo fu tin la ka fomme tin da mena an yana na manina kalam kina anana fada le toye din dakat nam mai da ju jine yalle na ashim na sai tiri na amla on yelen kun mara yalle tiri na da ka sida
o gos ona nya nisia okay kasu ma asin mutema yam kana ka tisla la yam kana tis tibota so.
Vivian's intervention is timely, and after a bit of talking, tempers cool once again between the two elders. The conflict had many casualties and many bereaved. There are many physical as well as emotional wounds that need healing. Bukuri Moshanomi got caught in the crossfire. His life has changed forever.
The moment I heard the gunshot and I got to the scene, I actually went to find out what happened. All of a sudden I got some gunshots, but I didn't actually take part. I got to the scene, I got fire from nowhere, and I was down with my bicycle. I didn't even come out of the bicycle. My life has changed a bit because I now find it very difficult to walk. I'm now working on a prosthesis, and the walking is actually very difficult. You know, I've just gone for the training. That was last month, and I've just come, and I'm not very used to the walking. So it has actually changed my lifestyle. And there are a lot of things I can do for myself now. You know, I can't undertake any physical exercise, no nothing. I can't do anything apart from...
Alhaji Apot shows how his house was burnt. Vivian and Mma provide support to Alhaji Apot as he explains how his tractor was destroyed during the conflict. The physical and emotional wounds will not heal easily, and yet a surprising optimism is still to be found in Bawku. Many of the victims want peace. This is surely the first step on the road to a better future. Another is forgiveness.
Samyo pomo dabo mai bunshi ane jin lafi dinna yi katnori yinne ketitin sukuna katijin katamdine nga daka bohdene betu na kala isu matita.
No, we have always been interested in peace. If anybody can bring peace, it's good for everybody.
Gadam la nan le samting lene da meting la da board la antim na tang len kala so man board zabra ben zabra na kasre.
If peace is to come to the community, it must start with individuals, Kusasis and Mamprusis. Some have adopted a fatalistic approach to the conflict and see no point in revenge.
I don't look for a revenge. I felt it is the will of God. We want peace to be established in the district. We are not looking for war. It is only when the war becomes inevitable that we go into, but nobody's actually looking for war. So I don't look for a revenge. God will take care of that.
We want peace. I want peace because we give everything to God. Everything that happens is the work of God.
Whether redemption will come from religion or the more pragmatic efforts of Vivian and Mma is not so important. What is important, however, is that people in Bawku are beginning to rebuild their lives with the help of Buddha and religion. Vivian and Mma are leading by example. They have continued their lives where they left off. Life simply has to go on. They both lead busy lives. On the one hand, they take care of their children and grandchildren, as well as feeding goats and chickens and doing all their domestic chores by hand. On the other, they are representatives of an NGO reconciling community, a community to which they themselves belong. The road ahead is hard, but despite being mothers and grandmothers, Vivian and Mma will not give up. Bringing peace to the town affects them too. After all, Bawku is their home. This is why they vow to continue their work with Buddha.
So Buddha is working hard in collaboration with NGOs to solve the problem. Apart from that, we are also carrying out our own programs at the community level, talking about the effects of conflict and then how best we should be able to tolerate each other and then work together and live together.
2 months after this film was shot, the conflict erupted again. Many casualties were reported. Vivian and Mma were not among them. The renewed fighting has made the rest of Ghana sit up and take notice. It has become a national issue. In the capital, Accra, Mr. Bombande from the West Africa Network for Peace is monitoring the situation.
In Bawku, when we wake up every morning, all of us need clean drinking water. And Mampusis need that water, and Kusasis need that water. It's not only Kusasis who need water, or Mampusis. All of us need a good hospital. All of us need to send our children to good schools. All of us need good teachers to stay in Bawku and teach and not run away because of the conflict. All of us need good nurses to be in the hospital and not run away because of the fear of the violence. This cannot happen if the two cannot reach out to one another and express to the rest of Ghana, and for that matter, our global community, that Bawku can be a peaceful place.
Mma and Vivian continue their quest for peace. Their work is now more important than ever.